Fuck my ass. Got it on camera. Look at that big ass fucker. Oh, he's our audience. Hello, everybody. We are joined here today with Patch and myself and our friend, the big ass scary spider behind the camera. So, that's real cool. Exciting this week. Our favorite car, Ford GT. Production has been revamped. Hooray.
Yay.
Because of that apparently
There's
huge demand. There's a huge demand for the Ford GT out there. Even though, just before we started recording, I was reading an article how, the NSX hasn't had a good rap. Like, it hasn't been able to, meet the, speed and stuff of what it costs.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about how the Ford GT doesn't do that either. But NSX just set a 10-second quarter-mile time. So, good on it. And otherwise, it's always been in the 11s. But someone, the fucking stars aligned, and they're able to get that fucking pass. So, NSX. Another car on the list of faster than a Ford GT. Also only costs like $200,000 or something. So, yay, Ford GT. Anyways, this last week we went over small coupe roadster-like vehicles. Tiny little cars. Fun to drive. That's what they're about, right? So our list is BRZ and 370Z, Miata, Fiat 124 Spider, and Audi TT. Pretty diverse group. Tried to keep a little bit from everyone here. No real American competitors out right now.
Not really.
At least not that I could think of. That's out right now. What's the only small car that we have are Chevy Spark.
But even then, that's usually a hatchback.
That's a Honda Fit. It's the same fucking thing. But we don't have a tiny coupe roadster. We have things like Corvettes and stuff and Mustangs. But those are a different category.
Yeah.
So, to kind of go over some of their statistics again, BRZ, 200 horsepower, 156 torque. I actually speculated that since I couldn't remember, and the singled out that it was 180 torque. I was mistaken. It's actually only 156, so not that great. 370Z, pretty good stats. For a base model is 332 horsepower, 270 torque, and then for the Nismo, which this is actually kind of lacking, 350 horsepower and 276 torque. So it got, 18 horsepower and 6 torque. And there's a $10,000 price gap in there. So
Usually the Nismos are a lot better.
yeah, you could get a Juke. Back when the Juke came out, you could get a Nismo version that had a GTR engine in it. That's cool. You get a 500 and some odd horsepower Nissan Juke. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool car.
The world's ugliest.
No. It's good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Mazda Miata, we're not looking at anything too spectacular here, but it's not supposed to. 155 torque, 148 horsepower. Although they now have released a new version, the RF for 2019, which is 180 horsepower and 151 torque. So a couple extra torques in there, but quite a bit horsepower gain, which is real nice, especially for a car that only weighs 2,400 pounds. Yeah, that's gotta be a lot of fun to drive. Fiat, kind of lacking. Came out saying it was the most powerful car in this class at 160 horsepower, and then 184 torque, and it has been beaten by its only rival.
Yeah.
Talked about this in single out. If someone can let us know of another car that is in this category that is again out right now for 2018, 2019, let us know. I couldn't, they're the same car, but they're also the only cars that I could find in that category right now. BMW Z4 is a tiny little roadster car, but that thing costs $70,000 or $60,000, 50. Anyway, so that's different. These cars are in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, much cheaper. But Fiat is, I didn't go over this like I should have, but it's a bit more of a luxury car on the inside.
Yeah.
So it's a bit nicer than the Miata. It's also, it does cost for its base model a little bit more than the Miata does for its base model, so that makes sense. And then my favorite of this group, the Audi TT. Now you're starting to come over to the Audi side, aren't you?
Yeah.
One day, Audi R8 for me, but we got him in on it with his A6. He's starting to come over to the German side.
I don't think
That's
that's a
sad.
good thing.
That's like the darkest side you can go to.
I don't think that's a good sentence to say between two white guys.
You know. Oh well. Some of these cars like weight is BRZ is actually I said I was way wrong on this for some reason. I just could not remember. The show's apparently going to be also fact checking for the week. My bad. BRZ 2,700 pounds. Maybe it was an older model or something like that. That was in that 3,000 range, but 2,700. So pretty light. 370Z. Heaviest car on this list at 3,333 pounds. How nice. So it's decently heavy for this list, at least. Miata and Fiat are both 2,400 pounds, and then Audi TT is a little bit lighter at 3,300 pounds than the 370Z. So two of them are a little bit heavier. BRZ is kind of like a gap vehicle, kind of makes the bridge between the Fiat and the Miata versus 370 and the TT, which is good because it's a very middle line car for these. Nürburgring times this week are kind of difficult because the Miata and the Fiat don't have any. But that's not crazy. I mean, they're not. They are sports cars in a sense.
They're not really track cars, though.
Even though some track cars, like some non-track cars, still make it to the Nürburgring, these ones they just never will. They're gonna put down an 8.5 minute time or something like that.
Yeah.
If you do look online and try to search miles Miata time, there is Koenigsegg's driver, their like main race car driver, drove around the track in a modified Miata, which is the only thing I could come close to finding.
Like an MX-5 or something like that. Their track Miata.
It's called like an NA or NC or something. Anyways, it wasn't a stock one. It was modified, and they say that. And he did like a 758 in it or something. Oh shit! Spotter's on the move. Hey buddy. So they won't have times, and if you look for the times, it's just gonna, from what I can tell, just show that, which doesn't really count for us. BRZ did it in 8:19, which that's not a bad time. It's actually like 10 seconds slower than the Mustang with 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
Wait, or was that Mustang GT? Because I did Mustang GT, didn't I?
Yeah.
I got like an 809 or something.
It was like an 802.
Oh, I thought it was like maybe it was 802, but still, compared to actually 400 plus horsepower, still not that bad. At that point, weight starts to matter. TT did it in 7:48, so got the subpar 8 time, and that was because it was, if I'm not mistaken, the RS, or maybe it was just the S edition, but that's when you're getting into the 300, 400 horsepower versions. I don't think the RS has made it out to the ring yet because it's a brand new car. 370Z doesn't have a time either, but the 350Z does, so we have something to base it off. The 350Z has an 8:26, so 370Z gotta be a little bit faster.
Yeah, maybe low 8s, high 7s.
Yeah, and probably, like minimum 10 seconds faster, I think.
Yeah.
Because every year they get a little bit better, they get a bigger motor, and things like that, which, rumor is, possible 400Z coming.
Nice. So, little speculated thing that I learned. Most of Nissan's like numbered cars, like the 370Z, or if you go years back into the 70s, like the old like Datsun 240Z, 260, and the 280Z. If you remove the 0 off of it and then put a decimal in between whatever number and that second number, that's your liters for your engine. Like the 370Z has a 3.7 liter.
250Z, 3.5 liter V6. So if we get the 400Z,
4.0.
4 liter V6. I mean, eventually, if they keep going up, they're gonna have to hit V8.
Yeah.
And at that point, that motor's gonna be big. They're probably gonna have to put it in the back. I mean, eventually,
Can somebody say Fair Lady supercar?
I mean, that's basically what GTR is. It's basically what it is. So, all the cars, at least the cars that had times, they did alright. Audi TT definitely did the best, but also it's kind of the best car on here. Dual clutch transmission. My favorite little factoid is the carbon fiber. No. 370Z had the carbon fiber drive shaft. Sorry. So its 370Z has things like carbon fiber drive shaft and stuff, so it should be quite a bit quicker because it has a lot of like real race car stuff on it.
Yeah.
But the Audi TT does have all-wheel drive. It has possibility if you get the RS for 400 horsepower. It has a 7-speed dual clutch. It's got like everything going for it, and it weighs 3,300 pounds. Like that is a solid car. But like anything on this list, if you're buying this, I recommend having another vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you may think that like, oh, you don't haul around a lot of people, or maybe you're a young person, you're single, and you're just like, why do you need a big car? But there are times where you just need just that little bit of trunk space or whatever. And these are very impractical.
And a lot of the Audis run off of like a higher octane fuel, so you'll be spending a little bit more on gas than you would.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like these are all very cool cars, but I could not see myself, like, I don't know, living alone and having Mazda Miata as my only mode of transportation. I could put my gallon of milk in the trunk in the back, and it's full. It's full.
I guess same goes for the S2000s and whatnot. Oh, we didn't think of putting those on the Roadster.
Well, I mean, I guess I was more going for protection now. I might think if we ever do like a Japanese grades kind of thing, I would think like S2000, Integra, Prelude,
the Silvias,
something like that. Where S2000 would definitely make it on that list, but this one I was thinking more modern or outright now.
Yeah, I guess.
That's why I found it. That's why I was saying, like, if anyone can find another car that is out right now that is in the Miata Fiat class, let us know. I'd be very interested to seeing and looking into that car as well. I just couldn't find anything else that was in that direct competitor class. So that's why we have like two real small cars. The BRZ is the median, and then we have two slightly heavier cars. But they're still all in that same tiny little car class. Audi also nicest in the interior. BRZs, they're okay, but it is just a Subaru, and they're not luxury vehicles. They never will be.
I think probably BRZs are probably a little lower on the price range here, maybe a little closer to most people could buy one if they wanted.
Yeah. Eventually, like, maybe not eventually, maybe when you're like 20, 25, stuff like that, you probably get yourself a BRZ, at least a used one.
Save up a few grand.
Yeah. Miata, definitely not a luxury car. Driver's car. Drivers. Put the top down, go on the highway, go take a drive to the next town or whatever.
Miatas are a little cramped inside too. They're not.
Yes.
If you're a large, like a tall guy, you're not gonna be comfortable.
We've had the ability to work on a couple Miatas, and if you have the top up and doors closed, like, everyone goes, it's a small car, yes, but like, I've been in other two doors, and nothing comes close to how small those are on the inside.
Okay, we're like 5'8", 5'9". We're almost touching the roof.
Yeah, we're not big people. We're pretty average. So small, and Fiat's about the same size, but the Fiat is a little bit nicer in the interior. But I don't know, I feel like the luxuriness is not what you're going for these kind of cars.
Yeah.
You're just going for like that feeling of the road, manual, gearbox, things like that. But if you want luxury, Audi TT. Everything's real nice leather. Probably, I imagine you have your heated leather seats, all that kind of stuff. And with their new virtual cockpit kind of thing where your whole dash is just one screen that, like, even your navigation and stuff comes up on it. It's just really nice for you. BRZ is Miata, but bigger.
A little wider, a little longer.
It's kind of got the same purpose of being a really nice car to drive.
Yeah.
Go around corners in like your neighborhood, I guess, a little quicker, something like that.
I guess another thing we could state is there's no real point in us doing like the GT86 or the Scion FRS or something like that because they're the identical car to the BRZ.
You take BRZ, get rid of it, put FRS, same thing.
You're just changing the badges on it.
Yeah, it's if you do have a BRZ or a Toyota A6 or a Scion FRS, you lift up the hood, you will see a Subaru badge on the engine because that's what it is, and that's not a bad thing. Like I mentioned, singled out. If you want a BRZ but you can't quite afford a BRZ, finally use Scion. With Scion not being around anymore, they're actually pretty freaking low on the price range.
Yeah.
So you can get the exact same car. Sure, it's used, but I mean, and we're living in today where used cars really aren't that bad. I mean, most people, you could probably, I'll never be able to get over this. You can find used like Duramaxes and stuff for like 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles. People still ask them 20 grand for them, stuff like that. Used cars are just, they're becoming easier and easier to buy, which people wanting new cars, they'll just trade up to the next used car kind of thing. We are in a weird area where like cars are still coming out and they're still really cool and stuff, but I do feel like we're kind of on a downswing of buying new cars.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how the market continues and things like that. Now for next week, since covered all those cars, my favorite on there is for car's sake, BRZ. If I could afford the GT, I would, but I like that BRZ. 370Z also very good option. They're all good options. Fiat is definitely like number 5 on that list for me, but I like them all. Which one would you go with?
Probably 370Z or a BRZ.
Okay, yeah. So 370Z also won't break the bank. I believe their base model starts at like 27 grand or something like that. So that is on the higher end of your low end cars. I think anything like below 30 grand is your like entry level kind of vehicles and stuff like that. As soon as you get to like 30, 32, 35, you're probably a family of some kind, and you're probably like, oh, I can get a nicer car right now. And then obviously, and then of course, if you make a lot of money, if you're doing very well for yourself, you're into that $50,000-$60,000 range. So whenever we talk about affordability and stuff, it's all relative to your case, my case, his case. It's all different. Affordable to some people is $80,000. That's affordable. That's what they can afford very comfortably. That's great for them. That's not bad. That's great for them. But for the average day person, affordable is in that 20 to high-end 30 range. And when you get to 30, that's starting to be possibly a bit expensive for you and things like that.
Yeah.
So, affordable is relative. We'll just keep that clear. Next week, I thought this would be fun. Mid-sized trucks. Now, mid-sized trucks are, first thing that pops into your head as of right now is Colorado ZR2, Toyota Tacoma TRD, or just regular Tacoma. And then right now, since it's making some news, Ford Ranger. Even if that news is being made in Europe and the UK.
Which that could probably be interchanged with like a Raptor, because when the Raptor first came out, it was more of a mid-range truck, mid-sized truck or whatever. Even though it's kind of moving more towards a full size.
Well, it's an F-150. It is an F-150 Raptor. And the Ranger Raptor, again, we won't get, so cool. But for fun trucks, not fun trucks as in like, oh, this truck's a lot of fun. Fun for this list. Honda Ridgeline. That's barely a fucking truck.
It's an SUV with a bed.
It is like it's nice on the inside. It is nice, but if you have a Colorado and a fucking Ridgeline side by side, and you look at the bed space, even if they have the same length of bed, which I'm pretty sure even a Ridgeline's bed is shorter.
Yeah.
I know that you can definitely get a long bed with Colorados and stuff. You can get one bed option for the Ridgeline. They are like the depth. Yeah, they are cut in half. They are small, and the reason they're so small is because they have things like speakers in the bed, and they have a water cooler and stuff like that. It's definitely a party luxury truck. It's not meant to be a work truck. It's very much it's a fake truck. It's a truck in disguise, right? It's just for having a good time. Sure, I guess every once in like 3 years you might need to haul something that your fucking, I don't know, Honda Pilot can't because you need the room, so you get a Honda Ridgeline. but it'll still be just as comfortable as any other vehicle. And then the real fucking tippity top of the truck world, Nissan Frontier.
You know, I've never.
That's a fucking shit car truck.
They've never even hit my radar before.
Goddamn. I tried to do a little bit of research for today on the the Frontier. See if they have any cool editions. They got a midnight edition. That thing's not worth a goddamn fucking thing. They don't have a cool off-road version. They don't have a sporty version. They don't have a nice version. They have a real shit-ass version of a shit-ass truck. The most expensive Frontier you can get is called the Midnight Edition, and it comes with everything black. It does come with 4-wheel drive.
So
and that's it. That's all you get.
Say, people talk about stereotypical like demographics for cars and whatnot. When I imagine the Frontier, I imagine like this high school girl who told her parents she wanted a truck, and they found one for her.
Nissan Frontier.
It's not what she wanted though.
So those should be fun to get into. Obviously, some real interesting ones with like the Colorado ZR2 and the Ranger Raptor and stuff like that. And the Tacoma's starting to fall behind.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little out of date. They haven't updated in a long time. Still a very nice truck. It'll run forever, and they hold their value better than anything. At where we work at a dealership setting, and we get used Tacomas with 100,000 miles on it, and they're beat to fuck.
2014, and they'll still sell for like 20-30 grand.
Oh, 2014 selling for 30. 2000. We had a 2006, I believe, with 127,000 miles. Paint was wrecked, had dents, had rust, cigarette holdover. They sold it for 18 grand. And someone bought it. I mean, they sold it for that much. What the fuck? I mean, I get it. It's a Toyota Tacoma, but like, what? For 18 grand, you could. I'm sure you could find something. Find a used 1500 of anyone. F-150, Silverado, Ram. Don't care.
Yeah.
Like you could find a full size truck, gasoline truck for that price range, especially from 2006 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, there are other options out there than shit-ass Tacoma. I just don't get that one. So, that'll be our list for next week. Hopefully some interesting topics will come out of that. Probably not going to be any ZR1 times for those.
I don't think we're going to see...
I said ZR1 times. Nürburgring times. What the fuck?
I don't think we're going to find any.
Maybe the Colorado will have one.
We could do something interesting and maybe look like load capacity.
Yeah, load capacity. Dude, Ridgeline's going to be on the bottom of that scale.
I feel like it's got a pretty good chance against the Frontier.
I think the fucking Ridgeline's got a good chance against an Accord. I bet the CRV outtows the Ridgeline.
Maybe.
I bet the fucking Hyundai Santa Fe outtows the Ridgeline. The new Ford Expedition. I'll kick the fuck out of a Ridgeline. I don't even like the Expedition. I know that's a better fucking truck than the Ridgeline. It's not even a truck. Kind of a truck. But also, not just an interesting week for vehicles, but also an interesting week for automotive news. Like the shock yellow Camaro. Oh, I love it.
You know those construction workers, those vests they wear?
So
bright freaking green ones?
bright.
Put it on a Camaro.
Bright yellow, green, whatever it is. Some people say yellow, some people say green. Oh my god, I love it. A couple years ago when the ZL1 came out, or I think it was for the 1LE, maybe it was for just the ZL1. Don't know. They came out with a color called Krypton Green.
Yeah.
And it was like
2015? Something like that?
I think it was 17.
Oh.
I think it was just last year. It was 2. If it was 2 years ago. It is the greenest green you can find on a car.
See,
It's great.
I don't mind the Krypton Green. It looks pretty good.
And then
Shock Yellow.
Shock Yellow.
My eyes.
It's such a good name too. And then Chevrolet's been doing pretty good with the color range. Then just for the ZR1 they released that Sebring orange color, which to be honest I'm getting kind of tired of, but it is nice that they have it because Chevrolet doesn't have or didn't have that many crazy colors. Like my favorite of the just like get your attention colors is Ford's Grabber Blue. That Grabber Blue on a Mustang. Oh my god.
Or like a Focus RS.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Good. Or if you at least do like gray with like the blue calipers and stuff. Nice. So They did green, now they did an orange, now they're back to green/yellow, shock yellow. Holy fuck, I love that color.
See, where we work, we don't see a whole lot of these crazy colors. We see grays.
We see gray, we see silver, we
white.
see black, we see white, we see fucking brown actually pretty often now.
And we get the occasional tan. Well, we get blues. It's the same shade of blue, though.
Yeah.
Real dark.
Got some metal flake in it, but it's not like real nice blue or anything, no. Or like olive green. Real dark
see
green.
those a lot too.
Real dark green. Nothing cool. We don't even get many like yellows, reds, light blues,
Oranges.
light greens. Yeah, we don't get a lot of those. So, shock yellow, coming to streets near you. Just for the 2019 SS Camaro. So I like that with every cool car Chevrolet's coming out with, they're coming out with a new color for it. It's good on them.
Yeah.
Trying to liven up the brand, I guess.
Grab attention.
Especially since they got a real bad reaction to the new Camaro front fascia. Which,
See, I like the new front ends on them. I think they look
I
pretty cool.
think people were too hard to judge it, especially with things like this color. This SS has like I believe when they were first coming out, they were supposed to have a black kind of front grille piece that had the bow tie on it, but now that's all painted with it. And if you look up shock yellow Camaro SS, it's not that bad. I like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. But besides Camaro news, we also have Mustang news. I'm not quite sure how this photo got leaked, but a photo of the GT500 just got released, and it looks pretty cool. It actually looks pretty similar to GT350R because it's got the same little wing on the back, but it looks
The front end did get an update.
like heavier in a good way.
Yeah.
It looks stronger, I guess I'll say. It looks more capable of going quick.
Yeah, it looks real beefy.
Yeah, it looks like it has wider fender flares and stuff like that. And sources are saying the general kind of census is that it's going to be 700 horsepower. Although some people have said 720, and then there are some other people, I don't know who these people are, but some people are saying that it could be north of 800. Any one of those is good. That's where it should be.
Yeah.
If it's north of 800, that's ridiculous.
It needs a minimum of 700.
Yeah. If it's like 650, get a Hellcat.
Because at this point, this is Ford's only competitor with things like the Hellcat, the Demon, or like the Z01 LE or something like that.
And if they can make a 750 horsepower car that still only weighs like the 3,600 that the Mustang does, that'll be a Hellcat destroyer. Like it'll take them out. But until they can do that, if they don't do that, then they're gonna have quite the issue, because why get that when you can get a Hellcat Red Eye with 757 horsepower?
Yeah.
Just get the really cool muscle car. If you're looking for tippity top of horsepower, Ford's got to step up their game, because lately the GT350R is basically gone.
Yeah.
No one really talks about it. No one really cares.
Even in the racing world, which isn't a whole lot of a big inspiration for most manufacturers today, but even then, the GT350R isn't really being raced. They replaced it with something they call the GT4. It's another Mustang. It's just got better suspension, a little better horsepower.
More of a race car.
Yeah.
So hopefully GT500 is cool, but other Mustang news is they just released a photo for it's gonna be a Mustang of some kind, but it's also most likely their electric Mustang that Ford said is gonna be coming. They released a photo of a vehicle. I'm just gonna say vehicle because it's no longer a Mustang front fascia. It's very different, but it has the Mustang horse in the logo, and it's all like electric blue. It's lit up and stuff like that. So that has to be their electric car.
Either electric or at least hybrid or something.
Yeah. Now that is interesting. So the article I was reading said they're electric car, and they're like, what kind of gasoline motor are they going to have in it? When I was thinking electric car, I thought
full electric,
like Tesla. I thought electric car, not hybrid, because hybrid is very different than saying electric car nowadays. There's a big distinction between the two. So I hope they don't do a hybrid, to be honest. I mean, hybrids are cool in some vehicles, like the LaFerrari and stuff like that, but like hybrid on the low end is Prius or hybrid Accord or hybrid,
like the Insight or something.
Yeah. Those aren't cool. They're good, but they're not cool. They're not Mustang cool. So I hope that they just say fuck it and they go full electric for the vehicle.
Or hey, if they do hybrid, they should figure out how to do it with one of their V8. It's like a 5.0 or something.
They should. They should do something, at least something cool. And there's also some rumors going around that either it's going to be a separate vehicle or it's going to be the same car. It's going to be a 4-door Mustang.
That's emotions on that.
That's weird. I mean, like when the fucking like the Porsche Panamera, a good car, people love them, but it's a 911 that they
like
just
a frog.
They just stretched it out. They just put an extra row in there.
It looks like a bullfrog.
I don't like. I mean, I'm already not a Porsche person, but like they put it through like a taffy puller, just like 2 more seats, 2 doors. So, and then there's also some talks about there being an SUV Mustang. Now, if you're gonna do all this to a Mustang, make a different fucking car. Don't make 6 versions of the Mustang and keep calling it a Mustang. Because if you make a 4-door SUV Mustang, it's no longer a Mustang. A 4-door electric Mustang. It's not a Mustang anymore. It's not. It's not a pony car. 2-door, quick, lots of horsepower, light, muscle car / pony car. That's what a Mustang is. I'm alright with the electric version as long as it's still the same shape and everything. Still on like the surface, the same car. But if you start changing so much, it's not the same. It's a different car. You can't call it a Mustang anymore. Other news is something kind of interesting between Hennessy and Bugatti is Hennessy says the Bugatti Chiron has had its top speed and stuff sandbagged. So that means that they're limiting how fast that car actually is, which is interesting because a couple of years ago, Bugatti and Hennessy got into this huge fight about who had the fastest car. Hennessy obviously said their Venom was faster, but Hennessy didn't do the test correctly. It was faster, but it was only faster one way. If you ever want to do your top speed record, you have to do it on a stretch of road, and you have to do it one way, and you have to turn the car around and go back the other way. That's what the Koenigsegg Agera RS did, and that's how it has that 284 mile per time that is like set. That is its time. And that is the fastest time for a production vehicle. The Chiron didn't make it. I think it's still like 260-ish. Maybe it's 270. So it's not slow by any means. It's still fucking fast. It's still Bugatti. It's still $5 million. Blah, blah, blah.
Quad turbo.
Yeah. Quad turbo W16. Holy fuck. So, but for Hennessy to say that it thinks that car's faster, I think is interesting since they're in the midst of making their own supercar, their own fastest car.
But I guess it could be a way for them to say, hey, no, we want to know what it really can do before we finalize all of our engineering.
Yeah, I guess there is a lot of people, there is a new Bugatti coming out called the Devo, and who knows, maybe that one's a little bit quicker and things like that. And then they have one car that they have like one version of, I can't remember what it is, but it's not even out. It's a Bugatti that's like, they showed it, and it looks fucking ridiculous, as they all do, but it's like on another level. I don't even know its name, some silly Italian name.
Who knows, maybe it's named after a bull.
Maybe. But who knows, Hennessy could release their car and then Bugatti could go, bam, here's this car, go fuck yourself. 350 miles per hour, 2 ways. I hope Hennessy releases a car soon. It'd be cool if the F5 actually comes out eventually. And as we stated in the beginning of this episode, Ford announced this week that they are returning the production of the Ford GT. No one's excited. Not a damn person went, fuck, finally! Yes!
I don't know who would be out there going, yes, I always wanted one.
Good as the R1.
Go buy like a 2005 GT.
Get one that's already made.
You got one that's already good. That one's actually good.
Actually, yeah, and that one's known. Like everyone agrees that one's a good car. I think it's like Jeremy Clarkson's from Top Gear. His favorite supercar of all time is the early Ford GT. Everyone likes that one. Everybody. Except for its one thing people have an issue with are its stupid doors.
Yeah.
So when you open the door, some of the roof comes out. So like you have to like really make sure you're in the car so you don't hit yourself.
I see why they did it, because it's real low. You want to make sure that you don't have to like pretzel yourself up and then get into it. So
Yes.
you can just kind of slide in. But
you also got the door and who cares? Anyways, good car. We like that one. That one's real nice. Just not this one.
You could go buy a McLaren for half the price.
You could buy a McLaren. You could, I mean, literally, if you want a car that's just better, ZR1, and if it has to be American made, ZR1. I don't think Hennessy's making the Venom anymore, but find one of those. I can only assume that's faster. And I assume
they're like twice as expensive though.
Oh, are they in the millions? Oh, they're probably in the never mind.
Yeah,
Fuck it. Buy a real car. Buy $1 million car. Don't get your shit ass $500,000 Ford GT. Go fuck yourself.
Go buy a cheap Lamborghini.
Yeah, get a nice Lamborghini. Just get a Huracan. That's like a Huracan Performante. That's like $350,000. That's faster. Get a Viper. That's faster. Get anything. It's faster. Porsche 911
Spend
GT2.
like 1/5 of the price and buy a GT 500.
Yeah, just get that when that comes out. I hope to God somebody trades in their Ford GT for it. Because
GT 500.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Hi Ford, I'd like a real car. Take your shit ass supercar back. Give me the Mustang. Because and you can trade in a Ford GT. You just have to wait 2 years after you buy it. You're in a contract with Ford saying that you will keep the car for 2 years before you get rid of it. And I can only assume that once they start selling, they're probably going to sell for $600,000 because people are fucking stupid and they're going to be like, oh, it's a collector's piece.
Why don't you collect this?
Collect that car. You don't worry, you can say it. I don't mind. That's a shit ass collection. It is and it isn't. It's still a Ford GT. It's still a cool looking car. It's just it could have been so much better. It's just too expensive.
Ford was too hyped on the EcoBoost for their own good.
I don't want to say it's $100,000 car. I'd be fine if they said $200,000 because it's still an exotic. It still is. It's very low. It is mid-engine. It's really wicked looking. I would be a lot less hard on it for $200,000. And again, we can't even afford the car. So, I mean, we'll make that clear. Like, I will never be able to afford. Maybe not never. Maybe this all works out. Even if I can't afford the Ford GT, I will have something better by then.
Knowing him, he'll probably go for like a 720S or something.
Alright. V10. That's a real man's engine. 10 cylinders. No turb skis. Faster than GT. So, I think that'll do it for today's episode. As we said, next week, mid-sized trucks. If there's a truck that we missed, I know Volkswagen's coming out with a weird fucking thing, but these are trucks that are out right now. I don't think I missed one since there's not really a lot out. I mean, it's not like Mercedes is shit, Mercedes makes the fucking, I don't think that can be called mid-size, the 6x6 G-Wagon.
Oh.
No, that's different.
At that point, why don't we just classify the Unimog?
Yeah. So, I think this is all of them. I don't think there's any other mid-sized trucks.
I don't think Dodge makes the Dakota anymore.
No, they don't. I thought about that. They don't make the Dakota anymore. They don't make a small truck besides their 1500. I swear to God, if someone tries to tell me that their fucking Yukon or Suburban or Jeep Wrangler is a truck, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
You can just take that shit elsewhere.
Yeah, BMW doesn't make one. Audi doesn't make one. Some of the smaller European ones, Renault, Citroen, they don't make one.
I mean, if we really wanted to get finicky with it, we could just like look up some old Australian Utes, like HSV or something, or Holden.
Do a Brat. That's for small size. Well, if we do small size, we'll do like S10. We'll do Dakota. We'll do the Brat. Probably do a Holden. But for now, that's our 5: Colorado, Tacoma, Frontier, Ranger, Ridgeline. A lot of R's. And I think that'll do it for today. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Comment any kind of cars you would like us to talk about, anything you want to hear on patch notes, news, whatever the fuck you want, or
Detailing.
detailing, or if you just want to start a conversation, we'll respond. Hopefully, we'll do our best. So if you want to get a conversation going, maybe if someone has an interesting topic, we'll just talk about it throughout the week as we go. Maybe make some form of weird episode of something or other on Wednesday, whatever.
Who knows? Maybe if we get enough, we'll do a Q&A or something.
Maybe. So I think that'll do it for today. So as always, all that usual YouTube bullshit, and we will see you next week.